Today we're going to talk about the potential benefits of this plant right here, which is Motherwort. Now, the word wart doesn't sound so nice today, but the word W-O-R-T stands for plant. It does not mean W-A-R-T when we typically think of the word wart. This is a plant that was originally indigenous to Southeast Europe and also Asia, and it potentially has multiple benefits to our health. Hey everybody, Chad Cruiser here with Health and Homestead. Motherwort is in the mint family, and typically when you think of the herb mint, you think of that nice aroma and flavor, but that's not so much the case with Motherwort. Motherwort is more of a bitter plant. Motherwort was historically used for postpartum depression, to help stop bleeding, anxiety connected to menopause, and menstrual pain. Do we have any evidence for these various things? We're going to look at the latest research on this subject. Motherwort was given the name because it historically was used for women's health issues. It was used to lower blood pressure, other heart issues, and as a sedative for depression. Research reported in the journal Phytotherapy Research had patients with hypertension, anxiety, and sleep disorders take 1,200 milligrams of Leonoris oil, or what they called LOE, aka Motherwort oil, for 28 days. And there was a significant improvement in depression in 32% of the people. 48% of the people found a moderate benefit in their depression, and 8% found a slight benefit. That means that 88% found some benefit to their depression. They also found that headaches were lowered in 41% of the people, and sleep disorders were lowered in 47% of the people. They found that it lowered the levels of systolic blood pressure from an average of 153.3 to 141.6, and it lowered the diastolic blood pressure from 102 to 91. One fascinating finding is that it raised their mental health levels a week before it lowered their blood pressure. Now, thinking of the name Motherwort or mother plant, this is something that was specifically used for women in various issues of their life and just after birth historically. And one of the things that has been used in modern science for bleeding, uterine bleeding after birth, is oxytocin. By giving the oxytocin, it can cause the uterus to contract, thus helping it to stop bleeding. But researchers have actually tested this plant Motherwort against oxytocin to see what would happen. Here's the actual study, and the name of it is Motherwort Injection for Preventing Postpartum Hemorrhage in Women with Natural Delivery, a systematic review and meta-analysis of randomized evidence. And what did they find? Researchers have found that injecting Motherwort with oxytocin had a greater benefit to lowering postpartum bleeding than using oxytocin on its own. It evidently has benefit for women who have had a natural birth, but what about when they try it on women with cesarean section? Here's a study, multi-center study of Motherwort injection to prevent postpartum hemorrhage after cesarean section. Chinese Motherwort was tested against oxytocin with oxytocin, and then they tried oxytocin with Motherwort to see its effect on bleeding in women who had had C-sections. 440 women had C-section deliveries, and 147 women were given Motherwort injected. 149 women were given oxytocin, and the final group of women were given oxytocin and Motherwort. And those who were given Motherwort alone had less blood loss than those given oxytocin. But oxytocin and Motherwort administered together had the least amount of blood loss after the delivery. Now, one of the ways that Motherwort was historically administered was by taking the leaves or the flowers or both, and you can dry them and make a tea out of them. One suggestion is to take either 1 or 2 teaspoons of Motherwort and steeping it in a hot cup of tea and drinking that. Now, it is quite bitter, and so people might like to add some honey to it. And we've already seen there are potentially several benefits to this plant. It's been used for hundreds, probably thousands of years. And it might be something that you might want to keep around in your house for some of the ailments that you might have. If you have any suggestions or anything you've used this for, or any other herbs or natural remedies that you'd like to see a video on, put that down below. Now, if you haven't seen our video on depression, we have a video on herbs that have been shown in research to potentially benefit depression. We also have another video that talks about other issues that may help depression. So check those videos out there. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifications. God bless and have a fantastic day.